Hello and welcome to the 15th edition of the Festival Elsy, the only women's international UCI race in Luxembourg. It's all changed for this year with the prologue removed, the prologue of the previous few editions, and we have two road stages. And the start of those has moved as well. This year we're headed off close to the capital city of Luxembourg City, and we're starting at the country's new football and rugby stadium, the Stade de Luxembourg. It was good to see all the teams lining up in the car park with the very attractive and modern-looking stadium just above them as the teams and the riders all prepared themselves. I wonder what she was listening to there. Got some new teams and some old teams joining us here in Luxembourg for the 15th edition. CERATIZIT, WNT, giving us a nice little heart symbol there was Martelak, who won a stage here a few years ago in an awful wet edition of the race. Phoenix de Koning. And here, the team of last year's winner, UAE Team ADQ. That interesting looking jersey bang in the middle there is the Latvian champion, Anastasia Carbonari, but there is the woman of the moment, Marta Bastianelli, former world champion, stage winner in Steinfort, today's stage, last year, and the overall general classification winner last year too. Quite nippy at the start this morning, about 11 degrees, certainly coat on weather. On the right there is Skylar Schneider, used to be with Bulls Dorlands, is now racing in the States, and here with the US national team. She was 70th when she rode here in 2018. I think we can guarantee fairly confidently she won't be that low down the general classification this year. And off they go. This was these are recorded shots from just over half an hour ago. Away from the stadium, you can see in the background there, it's a beautiful, beautiful building. Somewhat controversial, however, we'll come on to that later on. Just a 300-metre neutral, and they were off racing, and here we are. Here we are in Steinfort, the finish, and you can see the finish line there, bang in the middle of your picture there. Got 111 kilometres today, 111.1 kilometres starting at the Stade de Luxembourg, and heading up after 30.4 kilometres for an intermediate sprint here on the finish line. There you go, and then we have an opening loop of 27.4 kilometres, which includes the climate Simmerschmelz, which comes after 50.1 kilometres, coming back to cross the line for another intermediate sprint after 57.4. And then we go for 3 laps of 17.9 kilometres. And those are going to be quite difficult, with the Côte de Septfontaine coming after 67.4, 85.3 kilometres when they're classified. You can see how undulating the beautiful countryside is around here. And here we have the peloton. Earlier this morning, we have had some attacks, though. And there we have a good old dig there from Laurie Millet, Canadian rider. Managed to get a few seconds on the peloton. In the middle there you can see the helmet of Christine Majerus, the Luxembourg national champion and the big favourite here. Millet, the Canadian rider, managed to get a decent gap. she's from... and here we have a mechanical. But as you can see, as the lumpy road started going, it's all action in the peloton. Millet was brought back after about 15 kilometres. And we have AG Insurance on the move there, but nothing sticking here at the moment. But you can see it's not flat in Luxembourg. Certainly by my standards, being from Cambridge in the UK. My name's Owen Rogers, and I'm joined here today by Claire Faber.
Hello everyone.
And live images, you can see the peloton has settled down. Uno X, looks like Hannah Barnes leading the way on the left-hand side of your pictures. AG Insurance, very, very, very prominent at the front.
They're descending now where there will be tomorrow the mountain prize. So
okay.
They will climb up that small hill now, tomorrow.
Because this same run-in is used on both stages. From the start, we come out and come in through Steinfort tomorrow as well. So these opening 30-odd kilometres are what you'll see on tomorrow's stage. Looks like Ali Wollaston there, who is the New Zealand national champion, there on the front for the AG Insurance Soudal Quick-Step team. See, I would have thought she will be the protected rider. It was interesting that she moved up on the outside on her own.
Well, sometimes it's less risk if you descend in the first row than staying in the bunch.
Yeah. As I said on the introduction, it's all changed this year. The prologue has gone, but also what the organisers have brought in is time bonuses on the 2 intermediate sprints. So there's 3, 2 and 1 seconds bonus, which will come very, very shortly when we cross the line here in Steinfort. How do you think those might affect the race?
They will definitely have a huge impact. I mean, now the GC rider does not only need to be good on climbing, but they also need to sprint, because otherwise, I'd say a competitor which has more advantages in sprinting, they can steal away the win, like Paternoster did back in the days. Just when Christine was in the leader's jersey and she won the last stage, she got so many bonus seconds that she actually won the GC. So that will have a huge effect.
Do you think it'll make for more aggressive riding, or will it neutralise the race?
No, I think it will definitely be a more aggressive standard then, because every team knows the seconds, and especially now on these stages, the level of the good riders is very similar. So the seconds, that's the one that you need to actually win it.
88 kilometres to go. Now, not only have you raced this race,
yes,
but these are kind of your home roads. Tell us about the route.
Yeah, so basically it's in my garden. So I live close to Steinfort, and I'm very used to the roads. But basically any Luxembourgish rider is used to the roads where the courses are, because basically it's one of the most beautiful areas to ride in when you visit Luxembourg. So it's a very known area, and I'm really happy that it's a showcase also to the rest of the world by leading the race over those streets.
Because we're right in the very west of Luxembourg at the moment, sort
yes.
of in the Midlands, really, aren't we? Halfway down the west side border, and we could. How long would it take us to walk into Belgium from here? What, 20 minutes?
Yeah, like from Steinfort it's a bit longer, but they are passing like the Belgian border quite close. So I guess from the closest point that they are riding, it will be like 5 to 10 minutes. So it's very small, Luxembourg.
It is very small, but beautifully formed, I think. Isn't
yes,
it? It's a lovely country.
Yes, it's very beautiful to ride in. It's a country with a very nice capital city, but still with a lot of nature. So I think Luxembourgish people don't pressure this kind of advantage enough. So yeah.
And of course, this isn't the only race going on in Luxembourg today. Tell us about the other race.
Yeah, so basically this morning on the radio I heard that there's the duck race. So basically it is in Luxembourg City. So there's a river through the valley of Luxembourg City, and they are throwing 16,000 yellow ducks, so plastic ducks in it, and you can buy one duck. And in the best case, the first duck which crosses the line, you can win a car. So that's a different race going on as well.
I think this one will probably be more entertaining.
Yeah.
But I don't think you win a car, do you, if you win this race?
No. I mean, we have the Skoda Cross Cup in Luxembourg, which is a cross series during the winter, and the leader or the winner of that series gets a leasing car for 1 year for free. So that's also kind of the car that you win.
Number 93 there at the back is Alexandra Martin Wallace from the Australian team ARA Skip Capital.
Yeah, they're now on the cycle path to Hagen, and then they come to Steinfort. Still now, I think it's a moment during the race where you still just want to keep a position until the smaller loop starts, because there with the mountain prices, I think it's going to be very interesting.
Why, this early in the race, how important is positioning? Because there's not a lot happening. I mean, I'm just looking at Alex Martin Wallace there, sat at the back.
Yes.
I mean, it's not her first, it might be her first time at Elsy Jacobs. It is her first time.
Yeah.
But she's not inexperienced in European roads. But why would you want to be at the back? Or, yeah, I suppose someone has to be.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think there's any advantage of being at the back.
Yeah.
Because like her, the last rider, she always leaves some distance to the rider in front.
Yeah.
So she always needs to put some energy in to go back into the wheel. And once you're in the bunch, you get that momentum. So you kind of save a lot of energy. But honestly, I think since she's from a team abroad, and since she's a Canadian rider, I think she's used to the big roads.
Yeah.
European roads are very different. I mean, I've heard some US riders or Australian riders saying that Dutch races are very, very different and very specific with those small roads. I will see that today as well, because on the GPM in the Zimmerschmelz, there's also very, very narrow road. So it's also going to be tough to position well before entering that climb.
I mean, she raced over here for on and off since 2019, so you would have thought, I mean, it's unusual to see a rider hanging that far off the back if they're not nervous about being in the bunch, I guess.
Yeah, because
there you go, she's moved up a bit now. So.
Yeah, so I guess the speed is quite high, because positioning is very, very important in that race here. Especially because they're never straight roads. There are always some turns, and once you lose a lot of positions, it's going to be really, really tough to come back up.
The pace does look quite high at the front, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
There was another interesting rider at the back there from Phoenix de Koenig, was Petra Stiażny, Swiss rider.
Yeah.
She was 5th on the Tour de Romandie. In fact, on the Tour de Romandie mountain stage, which the men are doing today.
Yeah.
But she is very new to the sport. In fact, I think this is her 2nd or 3rd season in the peloton, so it's a difficult place to be. Yeah, first season was 2020, so the season of nothing, essentially.
Yeah. Well, but there you can see already that the pace is quite high. The riders in the first row can already see the effort that they put in. Yeah, now they're close to Steinfort, then they go on the big loop before entering the smaller loop. But yeah, as I said, there are so many turns that you cannot afford to lose too many positions, because it's just going to be a battle with your energy.
Yeah, all these little inclines. The road surface, by the way, folks, here is absolutely outstanding in general. It's certainly better than at home in the UK. And some might even say it's better than just across the border in Belgium. However, but there is a lot of pressure at the front, and you can see just how spread the race is. Interesting to see Arkea at the front.
Yeah.
They've clearly got some form of ambition, if not for the whole day, but for the intermediate sprint. And coming to the front now at WNT CERATIZIT, just moving forward here. And on that team, of course, CERATIZIT WNT, we have one of the home riders, Nina Berton. And, well, you never guess that we actually had a chat with her just before the stage at the Stade de Luxembourg. Nina, your home race, how important is this race to you?
Yeah, it's a super special race because it's my home race. I know all the roads really well because I train on them like daily. So it's really special for me also to know that all the Luxembourgish supporters will be here and cheering for me. So yeah, I'm super excited.
And how do you think the changes in the route will affect the way the race goes today?
I think the final course today is actually quite harder because the climb is pretty steep and also narrow. So it will be an exciting final, I think, and I think it's also a good opportunity for a breakaway maybe.
And how will your team approach the day today?
Yeah, we have a really strong team on the start line, I think, with a lot of different cards to play because we have some strong sprinters, but also some girls who can go for a breakaway and make it until the end. So, yeah, we will see how it goes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Just coming through the technical final into Steinfort, and there's a crash there for number 93, who is Alicia Wells. Sorry, was it 93?
No, 63.
63. I must get my numbers the right way up. Maria Benito just got tangled in the barriers there, but it's quite a tight, difficult technical finish, isn't it?
Yes, it's been tricky for every edition that has been. So we've seen a lot of crashes there.
Yeah. Full-on lead out here for UAE Team ADQ coming through. You've got Anushka Costa just on second wheel there, the Uno X rider, proper gnarly ex-Dutch champion and a very, very good racer. Marta Lack going for the intermediate sprint on the other side. She looks like she's just run out of legs there. Coming with a bit of chat on the radio there, coming from UAE, but it's going to be Costa. Costa takes the seconds, and to be honest, I think she's a good bet for the general classification. She's a very, very, very good all-round rider.
And very experienced. I mean, she has been there for several years, always in the top teams. She's ridden with Marianne Vos, so she probably has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, certainly a lot of knowledge. She's, as you say, she's worked for Marianne Vos. We've got Wollaston there. I can't see who's second wheel. I don't think they're going to look to press on, are they?
No, probably not. It's not going to make sense at this point of the race.
But Costa, it's the second time. Oh, sorry, this is the third time that she's been to this race. And she was sixth on GC here in 2021. And has a total of 7 professional wins in her career. She's the kind of rider that I think, had she had more freedom to perform, she would have many, many, many more victories.
Yes, definitely.
That's Lara Crestanello, just from B-Pink, just off the back there. Park Hotel Valkenburg doing what they do best, and that's attacking. They're a brilliantly aggressive team. They take a lot of young riders and send them to the very, very, very top of the sport. Let's has anyone ever heard of Demi Vollering, for instance, ex-Park Hotel rider?
Yes.
Lorena Vives, ex-Park Hotel rider. Here's the crash by the look of it. Maybe just caught the curbstone there. Luckily, she doesn't look too badly injured.
Yeah, looking at the start list of Phoenix de Koenig, you can also see that they have some cross riders also riding this edition. So that's also very interesting to see. Definitely cross rider also needs the development on the road to have the endurance to keep up the whole cross season. So that's what they do, and they just have the possibility and the resources to give them the opportunity to race.
Well, we've certainly seen that in the men's sport, haven't we, with the like of Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert. Now, this descent, whenever I've been here, this is fast, isn't it?
Yes,
coming down.
It's very fast.
Into Hobsguide, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they go down there. Well, now they go straight, but on the local course they go to the right. Yeah, now they're also riding towards the next climb in Geischel. So that's literally on the Belgian border.
Oh, okay. It certainly looks to me from Uno X's position, they've been at or near the front for the entire day, haven't they?
Yes.
That Costa is their woman. Just see Christine Measurus there in the very distinctive Luxembourg Champions helmet, the specialised helmet from their team.
Yeah, Christine is definitely one of the riders that you see in every race she's doing. You see her all the time on camera. She's always so well positioned, and she's definitely one of the best in positioning. So she can afford to be back in the bunch because she's in 5 seconds she's in the front. She just has those skills, but not every rider has the courage and the skills to do that. So
she's one of I think 3 riders here who've won stages of this race. Along with Lac and Bastianelli.
Yes.
But she's won 2, which is more than anyone else here. She's also won the general classification. Do you think she can win the general classification again today?
I mean, looking at the start list this year, I think she definitely has a chance, since there are, I'd say, less strong teams, and she's definitely one of the most experienced rider in there. So she definitely knows how to play her cards, and also the national team, since they started with a lot of young riders. I mean, it's quite tough for her because she's probably going to be alone in those very, very final situations. But still, for me, she's definitely one of the favourites.
Is there anyone better at navigating their way around a professional peloton than her?
No, for me not. Maybe I'm biased, but no, for me not. She's definitely, for me, the most precious rider out there.
What does it mean to a small country with a small sort of cycling population to have someone as, and I hate to use the word iconic, but iconic as Christine Measurus, because she is an icon of the sport in this country, isn't she? As maybe the Schlecks.
Yes, definitely. And also Kim Kirchen. Yeah. They've had so many good results, but I think at that point when all of those riders were so famous and so successful, we got a bit spoiled. And took it for granted to have such good riders. As it is the same with Christine, and you see just how good she is while young riders coming up and see how hard for them it is to go up to that level. So she's definitely, I'd say, an icon for Luxembourg, but as I said, a lot of people take it for granted because we're a very small country, but we still manage to bring out a few good riders.
See the victim of our crash is now back in the peloton there, Maria Benito. What do you think the Luxembourg girls can learn from Christine in a race like today? And I know she's done a couple of other races with the national team this year.
Well, definitely just how to behave in a peloton. I mean, as I said, Christine is the queen of positioning, so she can give some tips or just tell riders how they should ride, I'd say, in case they don't feel so well or don't feel that strong on that day. So she knows some tricks to save that energy. And that's definitely one of the biggest assets that Christine has.
I mean, she's very much described in the sort of world tour scene as a domestique.
Yes.
But with 42 wins, you're not a domestique. Even if a fair number of those are national championships wins, she's had a lot of top level wins, hasn't she?
Yes, so I'm sure she would have won much more, but since she always had a different task in the team, and she was always responsible of bringing their leaders to the front and making sure that they win, it was kind of her second task to look after herself and still be in a good position. So all of her results were after she has done her task and brought the leader in the best position. So, I mean, that's even more impressive to me. And I'm sure if she would have been the leader much more often, she would have been much more successful as well.
Oh, we're just coming on to. No, I'm not sure I can say that. Is that Kreiserbuch? Kreiserbuch. There you go. So this is a sort of precursor climb, isn't it? It's not the main one, because
yes.
The first Queen of the Mountains point comes at Zimmerschmelz.
No,
I need new glasses because I can't see the whether that's an L or an I on my road book. Schmelz.
No, now they are in Eichen, and now they descend to Geischel, and then they go up to the Kreiserbuch. So that's it's not really set up here as a climb, but it is definitely a decisive climb because it is a climb in the end. So. But we could also just see how all the riders took off their vests. So business is going to start now.
That's right. Yeah.
See, that's always the struggle in the races where they cannot fully block the roads.
No, that's right.
It's always the struggle for the motorbike riders to pass the bunch again, and it's also very stressful for the riders. I've experienced that as well while riding Elsy Jacobs, so it's very stressful.
Yeah, because they're narrow roads, and some of you watching may think that this is just sort of bully boy tactics from the motorcycles, but they need to get through to ensure the safety of the race, and this race is generally pretty safe. But if to get through, they have to kind of be bully boys to get through, don't they?
Yes.
When you're trying to race and you've got some guy some 200 kilo guy 100 kilo guy on a 200 kilo motorcycle trying to get through. They are immensely skilled, to be fair.
Yes, definitely, because how close they ride to the riders, it's impressive as well.
Another team just come to the front there, and that is the Norwegian national team. You can just see, but Arkea putting the pressure back on. Top Girls Fassa Bortolo en masse there.
Yeah, now the climb starts.
Right, so this is the main climb of the day, isn't it? The first climb of the day, isn't it?
Yes, it's the first one. So you can also see on the left-hand side with number 45, that's a Luxembourgish rider. It's probably the first time that she's riding the Elsy Jacobs, so it must be very exciting for her.
Liv Wenzel, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
What do you know about her?
Well, she's more into mountain biking, she's specializing more into the mountain biking scene. Even though we don't really have any or a lot of mountain bike riders in Luxembourg, she still wants to specialize more in that area. Mm-hmm. But she also joined the newly introduced Luxembourgish UCI team, Hess Cycling.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes,
yeah.
And she's a member of that team. So, but she's still very young. I mean, when I'm not wrong, she's 19 or 20.
Yeah.
So very young, but exactly at that age where you need to know where to invest your energy and what you really want to do.
Junior time trial champion, national junior time trial champion
yes.
last year. But
yes,
What's the level of participation in the Junior Participation Championship? Sorry, in the time trial champion.
Well, not a lot. It's always when you have a complete podium, you're already happy, you know. It's a shame, though. It's a shame. I wish there would be more girls, honestly, because it was developed the competition. Now it's also to become Luxembourg national champion. You become it already at such a young age because there are not so many girls, and once you get the title, it's kind of normal for you, know. I've been several times national champion, but if you go abroad in bigger countries, that's a huge success. But for us, it's like more of a smaller deal, I say, because you kind of think it's normal.
And we spoke a bit earlier about the Stade de Luxembourg, where we started, and I did a little bit of research around it. But what about women's football and women's rugby? That's the national stadium. How is women's sport in Luxembourg? Is it healthy?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, now, since the new stadium and also the past few years, for example, we have a women national team in football or in soccer, and they finally got a lot more coverage. So RTL has been doing some documentaries about their qualification rounds to enter a big tournament. So I guess it's slowly developing, but luckily there is happening at least something. So. It still needs a lot of development, but it's kind of on the good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know in rugby they only play, internationally, the women only play at 7 aside as opposed to the full 15 aside.
But I don't think we have a female rugby team.
Yeah, sevens, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Then I'm not really informed about it.
Yeah, that's... I think there are only three clubs playing at all.
Yeah,
and they all play in the German leagues.
Yes.
So there are only 3 clubs in the entire country. So Christine Mojerus, she looks like she's barely breathing there in the national champion skin suit. Sophia Bertizzolo on her wheel. Good wheel to follow, I think, Christine.
Yeah, there we will probably already see some riders who are dropped after that climb.
Yeah.
Because it is quite tough.
But just look at that road surface.
We always make fun when we come back from Belgium, from Belgian races, that once you go on a motorway, you're like entering a carpet when entering Luxembourg.
Yeah. An attack here from Park Hotel Valkenburg. I can't see which rider that is, but heading up towards the Queen of the Mountains point, someone looking to at least take a jersey, I'd imagine. There are 3 QM points in total for the stage today. Mind you, it's a good place to set up a breakaway, isn't it? To try and make something go.
Yes, probably a breakaway, yeah. But there is no on this club. There's no mountain prize. It's only on the next one.
Is this not similar?
No.
Oh, okay. So we're still on the Kreiserbuch.
Yes, exactly. So now we descend down to Zimmer Farm, and then it goes up the GPM climb. That's probably one of the toughest moments, to just go on high speed, to just pass that top of the mountain and still keep the high pace going.
I bet the AG insurance rider there is regretting having taken the drink. That little bit of extra weight and the attack going at the same time.
Yeah.
But no one's willing to take it up and work with her and try and make a move. You can see it really spreading out there. Is that Heidi France at the back? The US rider. 61 coming back there is Ali Wollaston, the New Zealand champion. Now, there's clearly been an issue for her because you wouldn't expect to see her at the back.
Yeah.
She's a remarkable rider. She is very much a class act, I think, and a true champion of the future.
Mm.
Well, obviously she's national champion, but she's the national, obviously the Roden champion, but also the Criterium champion, the under-23 time trial champion. And she won the Schwalbe Classic just before the Tour Down Under back in January.
Yeah, you can see that Parcotta really wants to force a breakaway.
Yeah. Looks like AG Insurance are happy to go with them.
Yes.
And the Italian teams like Fassa Bortolo they're always happy to get in the mix. I wonder, though, whether or not anyone's going to allow anything to go before the next intermediate sprint.
Probably not. I bet there's no breakaway until the first GPM is done. Yeah.
Here we go. I think that's an ARA skip capital there on the back, which is good to see. Yeah, it's a very, very a little Australian team coming over here and racing a Pro Series race. It's good to see them getting involved.
Yeah, definitely. Normally you only see like the same teams on every race, so it's good to see some fresh faces, and also to give them an opportunity to have a look inside of a European race.
Stiażny was still at the back there, the Phoenix de Koenig rider, the Swiss rider, and that's while we all know she can climb, it's so important. If you need to win races, you've got to be able to be near the front.
Yes, but also like during a race like this, when you're a sprinter, you still need to get over those climbs.
Yeah.
So that's always the issue. I mean, everyone can sprint, but can you still sprint after a hilly course, and can you get over those hills? I mean, that's the highest challenge.
It's Marianne Hinault coming back there for Arkea in the red jersey.
And still the Swiss rider from Phoenix de Koenig in the last row.
Yeah. Hinault is nothing to do with the great Bernard Hinault, but her dad is Sébastien Hinault, who retired a few years back, but clearly from a cycling family with a big cycling name to have Hinault.
Yes.
She's from Brittany. Bit of a time trialist. It's a Brittany team, I think, Arkea, so there's a fair few riders, and it's as cycling is the national sport in Belgium, cycling is the regional sport in Brittany. It really is the sport of the area up there. It's lovely. And Audrey Cordon-Rago, perhaps the best known of Breton riders.
It's also every time there's a race in Brittany, it's super tough races.
Do you think that the geography there is a bit similar to this, with lots of rolling hills, or are the hills longer here?
Well, they're probably rolling hills, but the tarmac is not really rolling.
Yeah.
So, but it is kind of similar, yes.
Whenever I've been across to GP Plouay, I've always found it a really difficult place to get to. And it used to be that what was the Bulls Ladies Tour, now the CIMAC Ladies Tour, started not the next day, but the day after that. And so you had to you just had to get straight in the car and get driving.
Yes. Yeah, they have once been the Europeans close to Plumlec.
That's
but it was super hard to travel there, as you say, because there are no international airports close by, and so logistic-wise, it was very difficult. Yeah.
114 at the back is Naomi Abgral from a very, very interesting team from the Stade Rocher-les-Champs Maritime squad.
Yes.
Who are actually part of a rugby club. They have a very, very, very good, I think they've been European champions, rugby club in that is the main club, and they also have a professional basketball team that's part of the same structure, and also the women's cycling team. And last year at the Tour de France, they really suffered with only one rider finishing due to bad luck and crashes and illness and all sorts of bad stuff. But one of the guy that runs the whole outfit is an ex-professional rugby player, and there was this huge man wandering around the start area, just massive guy wandering around. Oh, he'll be the rugby player then.
Yeah, now it's the descent down in the valley to Zimmer Farm, and then just they cross the valley and then they climb up again. But now the next climb is still different than the one from the local loop. So the one from the local loop that they do after this, it's even tougher.
Yes.
So
that's the Côte de Sept Fontaine, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is, I think we measured %.
Yes, exactly.
Which is quite a serious climb for. It certainly is for me, but it also is for anyone, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you think that's the place where stuff's going to happen?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe not the next time they're going up, but definitely on the final lap. That's where everything's going to separate, and where, like, say the less tired riders can still compete in the final. Because in the end, it's also a question of who ate enough, who drank enough, who recovered well for tomorrow, for tomorrow's stage as well. So it's all a question of having the best mix, like with the best nutrition, to avoid being fatigued too early into the race.
That's Carbonari there in the white jersey on the left-hand side of your screen, but it's AG Insurance who are the real aggressors in today's stage so far. Torelli, Irish registered, kind of British-based international team with a huge international. I say international. It's not a huge international roster, but a lot of international riders. Only started with 4 today, including the oldest rider in the race. Did you know that?
No.
It's Bronwyn McGregor, who I think that was at the back, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
She's 40 years and 170 days today. Little breakaway going off the front here with AG Insurance. Flick of the elbow. UAE are not interested in a breakaway. They're just interested in covering, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Phoenix de Koenig car. That looks like Sophie Wright. Sophie's in my hotel. And she was saying that she was perhaps looking at being quite aggressive today. A British rider from Norfolk, but I think she's living down in Spain today. And I think her grandma is watching. So hello to Nan. Hello to Nan Wright. This is the attack just into that bend.
But especially a team like Phoenix de Koenig, as Sophie Wright was saying, they don't really have to lose anything. So they're a young team. They are probably not the favorites to win, so they can really risk something during the races.
Yeah, they are a team largely comprised of cyclocrossers, but number 62 there is 62, is it? Maria Martins, who I think they were going. Look how easy Christine comes across the gap there. And that's Nina Berton, isn't it, on the wheel, and third wheel there.
Yes, we can see both
Christine coming
Luxembourgish
across.
riders. Yeah.
And that's putting the pressure on Phoenix de Koenig to bring it back together. And it's that kind of move that the Phoenix, who I think is Sophie Wright, just bringing it back. It's that kind of move that is really, really difficult to do, isn't it?
Yes, and if you have to do it for several times during the day, I mean, she's probably, well, she wants to risk something, but there's probably also an end goal to those actions. So normally you do this while you have a leader sitting behind you, and you just navigate them safely to the lead of the race. There's another attack going from AG Insurance.
Yeah, they're certainly up for a being aggressive, aren't they?
I mean, so far they've been really aggressive.
Interesting little setup there that they could. I know other people have spoken about this, but they have the elite team and then the under 23 team and the development team, and it's a fantastic structure to be involved with, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, you have the structure and you have the possibility to always like step up on your level, and you have the resources, obviously, with those major name sponsors and with that structure behind. So, yeah, and you have the structure of the men's team, so that's also already set up and ready to be used. So that's a huge advantage then, building up a team from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, the name, if you like, behind the team when it was originally launched back at the end of 2019 was Cerves Canave, who won I think the 2003 Paris-Roubaix, and at the time was a sports director with Team Sky or Ineos, whatever it was then. But the actual mastermind behind it is his wife, Natasha van Alden. And the sports director here today is someone that every person that's interested in the women's peloton knows, and that's Yulin Dora. We spoke to her before the race, and it just seems like such a positive environment for riders to come up through.
Definitely. I had a huge discussion with her this morning about how to create a best atmosphere for young riders, to give them the right mentality also to be successful, because I mean, cycling is such a tough sport, but still young riders need to have the right environment to grow up, and therefore they still need to keep the fun in the sport instead of being too serious too early in their career. That was the main point. And I mean, she told us maybe like a behind the curtain story that after the race they do the debrief and then they start playing board games. So that's definitely something that she keeps in mind while working with young athletes.
Yeah, definitely. It's how to make a happy environment, isn't it? And I think whatever your age, if you're enjoying something, whether you're young or old, if you're enjoying something, you're just going to be better at it.
Yeah.
You're just going to give more of yourself to it. And certainly we all know that cycling is something you have to give your all to.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why I'm not very good at it.
Now, there you can see the GPM of that climb. It's also, well, this climb that they climb up now it's a descent which was in the former big loop of the Elsy Jacobs. So everyone probably knows it who has ridden Elsy Jacobs back in the days already. So it's a quite narrow road and quite steep at the end. Mm-hmm. So that's also going to be quite interesting.
Well, positioning.
Yes, yes.
How much of descending is courage? How much is stupidity and how much is technique?
I think a lot is not thinking.
Right.
It's just turn off your mind and act naturally in a climb, in a descent. But yeah, for me that was always naturally because I started cycling very early. So I've adopted those skills while I was a child, and then for me that was naturally. But it is a lot of technique, yes, but still just don't think too much.
I remember overtaking a bus going down the Col d'Isoire, which is my fastest ever speed, which was, let me think, just over 90 k's.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
the funniest thing about that descent was I went hammering past two local riders. And so, bonjour, as I went past. And then there was a bend at the bottom, and then it kicked up to about 10%, and then they overtook me, and I never saw them again. Attack here, Sophie Wright again. She said she'd try and be aggressive, and here she is on the front with that's Nina Berton,
isn't it? Yeah, that's Nina Berton, who's holding up. She looks very strong.
She does. She looks like she's taking it very easy. I don't think Sophie has the smoothest of styles. She's not as smooth there as Nina, but she is quite strong. But it looks like Nina's going to get... Yeah, I think she got the points there, didn't she? I think it's 5, 3 and 1 points on the top of each of the climbs today. I hope they're not saying something rude in the background there, are they? Sophie just trying to get it going there, but no, nothing going. CERATIZIT are clearly going. She clearly want to keep the peloton together, and she's desperately trying to get it going, but nope, it's not going to happen.
The Arkea rider, she's Megan Armitage, an Irish rider, also very known from the esports scene.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's all back together, brought back there by the Uno X rider. And Nina's the kind of rider that can go for this, that try and win the jersey here. Do you think, the Mountains jersey?
I mean, if she can keep up that level, it's definitely possible. But we'll need to see. I mean, she developed quite a lot during the past months. That's since she has joined WNT CERATIZIT. But still, I mean, this is kind of a hard race. It's always like some pressure on you if it's your home race. It's not spoken out, but you can still feel it, that everyone looks at you. So we'll see how she will handle that as well, because that's also an aspect of being a professional cyclist that's not to underestimate.
And how, what pitfalls are there in the way of riders, young riders who are trying to develop a career? Now, hold on, there's just an attack there from one of the American riders. And it is really fast.
Yeah.
Those turned-in levers always make them look like gravel bars, the wide, flared gravel bars.
But I don't really see the logic in turning in inside your levers, because then your elbows are out. So it's not really logic to ride like this, and for some riders it even gives you like elbow problems.
Yeah, so what are the pitfalls of some of these young? Because there are lots of young women here who are trying to develop careers within the sport.
I mean, it's a very, very tough business. It's as I've experienced myself, it's all about having the right connections to just open doors and making new ways up to you. But then definitely it's also, as a young rider, once you start becoming a little more successful, you have like 100 friends. And they always want to give you some advice, but still you need to be very, very careful who you choose to listen to. So the environment, for me, is key as a young rider, because you cannot listen to everyone who wants to tell you how to act or what decisions you should take. So that's a very crucial point. So for me personally, I think that you need to have very strict character to become successful in the cycling scene. But then also, I'd say the luck to know the right people at the right point. It's a lot of luck. Somehow also a lot of talent, of course, but still there's a lot of luck involved.
How many good riders, including yourself, go by the wayside, and we don't ever get to see them at the top of the sport when they had the talent to?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, luck is a big portion to that, so I was really unlucky, and a lot of riders probably have been as well. That's why they have stopped, or also life has developed. I mean, that's especially for young riders, that's during an age where you start developing how life can be. Some riders, they change priorities, so they want to make a living. They cannot take that risk of not knowing what's going to happen next month. So it's all also I'd say an argument of perspective and of priorities that you set up for yourself. So a lot of pressure for a young person in general to know what they want to do and to know who they want to trust.
Yeah. And there's the result of the first GPM, with Megan Armitage following Sophie Wright and Nina Berton across the line. Uno X making themselves, I mean, you can't miss them really in those jerseys, can you?
No.
but make themselves, and AG Insurance just going again. You would have thought Wollaston had the quality to be in a sprint, but yeah, they're certainly trying to force a breakaway.
Yeah, definitely.
And Carbonari starting to suffer there in the white jersey for UAE team ADQ. She's covered everything for that team, hasn't she? And she's really starting to suffer. I do think the shades at that AG Insurance rider there, I do think they're awful. They look like some sort of visor from a 1960s comic. Yeah, yeah.
I have the same though.
You have them?
Yes, I have the same. They probably look ugly, but
I bet they're brilliant to wear.
Yeah.
With no rim.
Yes, exactly. It's superb to wear them. So I leave the aesthetic part aside.
I, as someone who has to wear glasses on the bike, and I wear varifocals, so they're different at the top, that I find it really difficult to find really good glasses to wear whilst riding. A little breakaway going here, and I don't think it's going to be allowed to go. You can just see CERATIZIT WNT just trying to close it down. Whichever rider is right down as low as she can get, forcing the issue and getting in there. Two of the Phoenix de Koenig riders just coming back. That's Manon Bakker and I think it was Celia van Zootem. Another little lull. And the ever-present there from Uno X is Costa.
Yes. The small climb that they just climbed up, that used to be the GPM of the Steinfort stage.
Ah, of course.
So it's also quite tough one.
Yes.
It's just a little climb, but still it's very tough, because normally when it's a windy day, you have a lot of wind on this road. So the bunch is very often stretched out and hard to come back to the front. There we see Anna Trivisi in the first position, just Bastianelli in the third one.
Got called across by Bertizzolo, didn't she? Come and give me some protection. Because I would have thought Bertizzolo is be their second option if Bastianelli can't make it. But if you look for the rainbow jersey on the cuffs of the sleeves there, that's Bastianelli.
Yeah, yeah.
Marta Lack, the CERATIZIT rider, just in and out of your picture on the right. And of all the, I can't remember if I've already said this, but of all the stage winners, the previous stage winners that are here today, all of them won on this finish.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah.
So everyone knows what it takes, and they'll be wanting to take the seconds, and that's what adds to the aggression. I think a breakaway will be allowed to go after this intermediate sprint. They won't give it too much. Bastianelli shouting at her teammates. Who is it again? Carbonari coming across.
It's a very tricky finish.
Yeah.
Also here to sprint up, that's small uphill. It's very, very tough.
Yeah, it
does not look like it, but
no,
it's very
I've walked
tough.
it a couple of times. It's about 8 or 9%.
Yeah.
Until you hit 100 meters to go.
Yeah, they're probably going to go now for the sprint, the UAE team.
Costa there.
Yes.
Christy Mergers.
Marta Lach we have also on the side.
Yeah.
With Martina Fidanza.
Yeah, it looks like that Lach is doing the lead out here.
Yes. Oh, sorry, it was Ariana Fidanza.
Yeah, they were both supposed to be here, weren't they?
Yeah.
But so we're just coming now. 500 meters to go. This is round to the left, and this is where it kicks up. Opening of the pace there from Bertizzolo on the front. They desperately want these bonus seconds because they missed out last time round. Costa just trying to force her way through up the inside of Bastianelli, but Bastianelli goes early, goes with about 150 meters to go. And Bastianelli Whoa, I don't know who got that.
Yeah.
I think she thought she had it, and
She wasn't
Costa-
comfortable, yeah.
No, and Costa didn't give up.
That's always such a hard part when there are intermediate sprints and the whole bunch is suffering because
Because you've got to measure your effort. You can't give it absolutely everything.
yeah, but still also for the bunch, I mean, you still need to follow the front
Yeah.
group. Like
Yeah.
you still need to follow that pace.
Still the pace high. Still AG Insurance. Soudal Quickstep forcing the pace. Talking of Soudal Quickstep, when I had my office built, I had Quickstep floors put in
Oh,
because
nice.
they sponsored the sport. I might be a sado, but I think you've got to repay the, you know. If I ever form a large company and need payroll services, I'll ask SD Works. Very unlikely to happen. So Hannah Ludwig there on the right was the Uno X rider, just looking around over her shoulders. And 156 is Stina Snorthen. Sophie Wright again. She did say she was going to be aggressive. I do hope her nan is watching. She did say she would be.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black and yellow team, the Stade Rochelet Charente-Maritime, it's a team that you've more often only seen in French races.
That's right.
So they have quite good climbers.
They've got some foreign riders though. They've got two Brits on the roster with Lucy Gadd and Natalie Grincher. They've also got a couple of. They've got a South African in Francis Janssen van Rensburg and Lotte Klaas, who is a Belgian rider. Here we go. Now we've got to get a bit of a breakaway here. That's Fassa Bortolo just forcing the issue. Got Sophie Wright on the wheel. And it's being brought back by UAE. The Uno X rider on the right there is Hannah Ludwig, but certainly Fassa Bortolo are interested in getting their jerseys on the television and their lovely Pinarello bikes.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is a big breakaway to allow to go, if it's going to happen. Right, that's the bottom, that's the right-hander, isn't it? And you go along with the river on your left here.
Yes,
don't you?
exactly. So now they are like small
Yeah.
waves, or how you call them.
Undulations up and down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too sure about the exact distance, but there are going to be a few Ks until the climb again.
That's a huge move from the... I can't see who that is in the white jersey, just trying to get back on the back of the peloton.
So now they've entered for the first time the local loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got 3 laps of this local loop.
And AG Insurance on another tack.
17.9 kilometres with this new climb, the Côte de Sept-Fontaines, coming with 43 kilometres to go. And interestingly, the QOM on Strava is Nina Berton.
Yeah, she's probably been training there a lot because she does not live far away from here. So
Yeah. I think Costa might have this. Oh, yeah, I think she's got that. hasn't she?
Jesus, that's so close.
Oh,
But see Ellie Wollaston, she got 3rd.
yeah.
still one rider in the lead, so we're taking it a bit more easy now in the bunch. That's always a nice place in the valley to have a gel or have a bar and have a drink, just to loosen up the legs a bit before heading into the next climb.
Yeah, because this is into the woods now, isn't it?
Yes.
Haven't quite seen the number of this rider. They're letting her go. I think that's they've certainly been trying for something, and I think the peloton are quite happy to let her go at the moment.
Yeah.
Her teammate there at the back is Ali Wollaston, the white jersey. You still need to be well positioned though, don't you? Even if you've got a rider up the road, So that is Gaia Massetti, an Italian rider on the team. First time she's been here. And I tell you, there's always a good indication of how good a rider is how they've done in the in some of the Italian national junior Nations Cup races.
Yeah.
And she was second in the Trofeo di Moreno, which is the mini Trofeo Binda.
I mean, this year she raced already several races with Setmana Ciclista Volta in Valencia. She finished 13th in the youth classification, so I mean she can climb then.
Yeah, yeah.
And also doing the Hola Dance Classics. So she did all 3 of the races. I mean, that's already good preparation for this one.
And one result I've noticed of hers is last year, 3rd at Vars d'Or Westhook, which was a bunch kick, won by Chiara Consonni.
Yeah.
So that shows that she can sprint as well. So a decent all-rounder. She's very young though, isn't she?
Yeah, she's 21.
That's a big effort she's putting in though. She's certainly got a decent gap there.
We'll see if she can hold that gap, because regarding her results, you can see that she's a sprinter rather than a rouleur. So we'll see if she has those skills to keep away from the bunch.
Ali Anderson, number 96 at the back there for the ARA Skip Capital team. And we're back to the front.
So riding with the same setup as the men's team.
That's right, yeah, with the same colour bikes.
Yes.
They are good-looking bikes, I have to say.
Definitely.
And they do get a lot of support. Yelene was saying if they want something off the men's team, they get it, essentially. Make a phone call, and they get it. Which might be contrary to some people's expectations of the involvement of the men's team and the women's team together. Well, one of the favourites that we think coming here rode the race first back in 2018. I nearly said 1918, but rode the race way back in 1918 is the American rider Skylar Schneider, and we had a word with her before the race this morning. Welcome back to Luxembourg. What do you remember of this race?
Thank you. Bits and pieces. It's been, I think, 5 years since I was here last, but I was really looking forward to this race. Having been here before, I remembered how beautiful the country and the roads are, so yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
You've had quite a good season so far this year. What do you say?
Yeah, really good. I have 2 races so far, and both of them went really well, including Pan Am's in Panama last weekend. That was a really big goal to punch my ticket to Worlds in August, so I come with quite a bit of confidence and no pressure.
And what do you think of the course? Have you had a chance to ride today?
Yeah, we did a recon yesterday in the car, and it's a little hillier than I remember, but yeah, we'll just give it our all.
And how difficult is it for a national team of riders to come together and work as a team?
Yeah, we're not used to racing together, only against each other, and we have some riders here for the very first time, so I really just hope to use my experience and share it with them and give them a good experience. And we don't really have much pressure for results, so sometimes that's when you have your best races, and yeah, we're just here to have fun.
And you're pretty experienced over here in Europe. Tell people the difference between racing in the States and racing in Europe.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more aggressive here. Some really high quality riders who can keep it fast the entire time. Where in the US, there will be moments that are really fast, but it's not like 100K of really fast racing. So it's definitely a different style, but having spent a lot of years here, I'm excited to be back.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Skylar Schneider, who I would have as a bit of a favourite for today's race. Bertit Zola getting some instructions there from Davide Azzini, sports director at UAE ADQ. And Mr. Azzini was a mastermind really behind the Valcar Travel and Service team. The sports director there brought a lot of young, very, very, very talented Italian riders up through the system and moved across now onto the UAE ADQ team. This is the climb, the Côte de Sept Fontaine. Nina Berton is the QRM. I wonder if that'll go today, or will she desperately try and hold on to it?
I think that's probably her personal goal, that she really wants to get those points and showcase herself as, especially on the Luxembourgish stage, that she's a rider not to underestimate. So what best to do than showcase it?
Yeah.
It's the best way to do it. So we'll see. Also with Bertit Zola just being back at the cars, maybe not the best moment because it's going straight into the climb. We'll see how she will manage to go to the front. Interesting
to see Bastianelli was way back there, way back, nearly last wheel in the peloton. So other teams will notice that and will put a bit of pressure on. Is that a Luxembourgish national champion there?
Yeah,
left?
Masters.
Ah, okay.
But as you can see, the road is not even as wide as 2 cars, so
no,
it's quite narrow.
I think she's got a bigger lead than that gap suggests, considering the gradient she's on.
Yeah, yeah.
24 seconds you can see there. Can she hang on over the top? And will we see a move from Nina or Sophie Wright trying to hoover up the points that remain?
We'll see. So far, I think the course is quite interesting, especially because it's new. Before it was kind of the same pattern that we could see each year. So this year, also with the younger bunch in general, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that there is a younger bunch is because this race finishes tomorrow, and then on Monday the newly created Vuelta race starts. And so the big World Tour teams have headed off into Spain to race there. And essentially we've lost, I mean, some of the winners of this race overall through its history are ridiculous. Anna van der Breggen, anyone?
There at the back we can see with number 12, Maria Martins. She's well known on the track.
Yes.
Very, very successful on the track. So naturally, I'm not surprised she's not up there in the first row.
I think they were looking at her for a sprint today. Lack doing the the work for CERATIZIT, so I wouldn't have thought there'll be a stage victory for her like in, I think it was 2019 in the pouring rain.
Yes, yes.
Were you here then?
Yes.
That was horrible that day. It was
Yeah.
really cold
Yeah.
and very wet. This is certainly... there he is. I wish we could hear him properly. I think he's coming to the finish.
Probably.
We had a bit of a chat on Twitter yesterday. I think he's coming to the finish, so we'll see him later. Marta Lack putting in a lot of work here. Nina Berton there on her wheel. And so Berton will be trying to get these points.
Yeah.
I don't see Sophie Wright anywhere. You've got Uno X at present. I think that's just second. One of the riders is Hannah Barnes, former British road and time trial champion. And Christine with time to look at the scenery.
Yeah, I think also because, yeah, we're Luxembourgish riders. I think Christine leaves it out to Nina as well.
Yeah, yeah.
In that point, she's very, very fair.
But she's a tough racer, isn't she? She's super aggressive when she needs to be.
Oh yeah. But if she likes a person, I mean, she can be human, I'd say.
Yeah. So Berton takes the points there.
She got a little gap.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the goal, though.
What, the gap? No, it's
Yeah.
to get to points, isn't it?
Also that it was so clear and nobody really followed her. That was not really the goal, I guess.
What were your thoughts here? Keep it going or knock it back off?
I mean, it's still 43k to go.
But you're defending your team, aren't you? You're defending your sprinter if you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Proper split up here.
Yeah. But see, those riders are more often also those riders who are already in the back from the beginning on.
Yeah.
And just at one point in the race, they get so fatigued that they cannot do those efforts all the time. So naturally, they're gonna be dropped at one point.
Well, she's certainly in a nice low position
Yeah.
there. Arms virtually parallel with the ground, putting an effort in. You've got someone from Park Hotel Falkenberg going across, and that sparks a reaction. But that peloton is, I think, in 3 parts.
Yeah.
So, whoa, that bike.
I don't think she's going to put in 100%
No.
effort. She's just spinning out and just waiting for the gap to be closed. For me, that would be the more intelligent option.
Yeah, you can see actually that is a full-on peloton, isn't it? But it's certainly allowing her team to just be attentive as opposed to do any work, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, now already with her 10 points in the QOM classification, she's already ahead. So if someone else wants to try to win that prize, they need to act now.
Well, she's certainly got the jersey tonight because there are only five points left. So she's
Yeah.
she can't be overtaking. I don't think Wright was anywhere. I didn't see who was second. that gap is certainly going out now. But on giving number 21, local rider got the home rider has got the home advantage, home number, hasn't she?
I mean, those roads, that's the road that she always takes to leave for ride. So it's basically...
So she lives very nearly on the route?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe like 2k away.
Oh, okay.
So those are all her home loops, and she knows like every stone on it. And that's a huge advantage.
Why is it an advantage?
I mean, you know exactly how the road is going, like if it's going up, if it's going down with the turns. You're not surprised when there's a turn coming. So it's also one factor less that you need to stress about, like the course, because when you race and you have never seen the course, it's kind of, you're also a bit stressed if you get the turns right, if you don't crash, if you didn't miss some information about another climb that has happened to me. Yeah. So no, it gives you comfort. It gives you comfort and courage. Also in general about the festival Elsy Jacobs, I'm really proud, and I'm really happy that it's already the 15th edition, that it took place for so many years in a row, and that they're still able to organize it despite all the difficulties to block roads in Luxembourg. I'm really, really happy that it's taking place.
Yeah, it's a major achievement. I wrote an article for Pro Cycling magazine a few years back, which, if I remember, I might stick the PDF out on Twitter later on. And it talks about the race and how it's put together. But essentially, it's one of the country's cycling clubs that organise this.
So it's Christine's local club that she's still affiliated to. And they are really initiating actions for women's cycling. So they have already organized like a local women's race, like a separate race, because normally we race together with the under 17 when you're women. And basically they took on the challenge to organize like an international women's race, and it took place for so many years in a row, and they still were able to progress every year and to step up. So now they're into Pro Series, where nobody ever thought that would happen in the future. So, I mean, that's a huge achievement for Luxembourg, and I'm really happy we are able to do that.
And they've had this kind of coverage. They've had, with the live stream since 2016. They are. It's a race that has perhaps not led, but it's one of the races with full coverage long before others. If you look at something like Liège-Bastogne-Liège, I know that only started in 17, but there are plenty of much bigger races that did not have live coverage of any interest or substance for years and years after this race. Flèche Wallonne even, only I think 18 or 19. And a little race like this to put live coverage on is absolutely remarkable. Tell your friends, folks. Get them tuning in. The more eyes that we get on screens watching races like this, the more races we get to watch. So that climb they've just come up was the climb that used to be the classified climb, didn't it, on this loop. And Berton now at the front of the race, just under 40 k's to go, is heading in towards the third crossing of the line. 2k to go. Never look over their shoulder, they say. But she just had a look, didn't you? I don't mind. Especially on a bend, you can see across, can't you?
Yeah. We're lucky enough that our live stream is also diffused to the Luxembourgish RTL.
Yeah.
So maybe some words in Luxembourgish as well. Ja, für alle Menschen, die rausguckt, mir gerade Nina Bertwald unterstützt für uns als Lützburg-Fahrerin. Sie hat doch schon 10 Punkte am Bierpreis gewonnen, wobei just eine Einwertung übrig bleibt, maximal 5 Punkte. Wir werden heute nur am Liedertrikot vom Bierpreis gesehen. Und mal gucken, das ist lang 4 unterstützt, der Plotter ist drunter, mal gucken, ob wir das wird packen. sie gehen an den zweiten lokalen Tour, dann haben sie nach eine Tour zu fahren bis auf d'Arrivée. Und ja, mal gucken, wie hat sie schlägt an all die Jahre auch am Peloton. Und voilà.
Voila. I understood that bit, at least. That's the only bit I understood. But there you go. Just coming back into the finish town here, Steinfort. Nina Berton has got a decent gap on the peloton. Some kids there taking the opportunity to run across before the peloton arrives. And you'll just hear all the motorcycles coming through behind us. Down here, and you've just got that little jink left and right, which is where we had a small crash earlier on in the day. And this left-hander, which would be has been very dodgy in the wet, hence all the padding on the corner there. I think by a pharmacy, isn't it, there on the corner?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, is it not?
The pharmacy is up
Further
the street.
on,
Yeah.
Or an optician's, perhaps. No?
I'm not
Something
sure.
like
I'm
that.
not too sure.
She's got a good lead, whatever. Don't be alarmed, folks. That part of the road is open, hence the hard barriers, which is sand-filled, so they're not even going to blow away if we get a wind. But at the moment, looking down the road, I can see there's a bit of wind because there's a wind turbine, but it's not going around very quickly.
But very courageous ride for Nina.
It is.
Yeah, for her age. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people have been following her, but she's one of my friends, and I've seen her personally as well growing. She has been done a huge development now since she has joined CERATIZIT, WNT CERATIZIT, and yeah, I'm happy to see also such a courageous ride for Luxembourgish rider on Luxembourgish roads. So yeah.
She's got a lovely style. She's so smooth.
Yeah.
And holding a good position the whole time. She's a good rider to watch.
Fun fact: we always had a nickname for her because she has such long arms and long legs. We always called her Noodles. So that's her nickname.
Just passing us here on the finish line in Steinfort, and you can see the peloton are allowing her head.
The 2 local laps remaining.
And that's a smaller peloton than first time through, isn't
definitely,
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, though, I mean, last time through there was certainly a decent gap, a big size group way off the back. Arkea leading through. I think she might be beginning to suffer, though. Still beautifully smooth. Yeah. It's so important to use your gears. I recently rode a route up in Scotland, and I'm not very good at going uphill, and Scotland has got lots of hills. And it was a gravel route, and I was on a gravel bike using a 42 at the front, 44 at the back. It was glorious. I could spin up 10%. It was wonderful. Spin very slowly, but still I was spinning.
Yeah, she still looks very stable on the bike.
Yeah. That's Skylar Schneider there on the back, number 161. And 165 is Melissa Rollins, teammate. Schneider has had a seriously good year. She spent 3 years on Bulls Dormans and left at the end of 2020, which is not the best season for anyone, I don't think. She's with this Legion team now. And I think she came across to Europe very, very, very young. And
yes.
I wonder if that acted against her going into a team like Bulls with the pressure of being the best team in the world and having been the best team for many years. it's a lot of pressure when you're so far from home.
Yeah, probably having a complete different mentality than in the US.
Absolutely.
So, and being at such young age, so far away from home, it's also a big aspect that needs to be taken in. So
Saw Bastianelli shaking her hands there at the back. I don't know whether she's been down or not. Number 1 there, just sort of rolling up the right-hand side of the peloton. And you won't be surprised that we also had a chat with her before the start as the defending champion. Marta, welcome back to Luxembourg. Tell me about your memories from last year.
Yeah, thank you. And it's all time when you win, you have a good memories. And I stay here with my team for take the best also this year.
And have you had a chance to look at the route of today's stage, because it's slightly different?
Yeah, it's a bit different from last year, but the final is the same. And nothing, we check in the race what's happening.
And what's the most important thing to try and take victory in today's stage? Is it positioning, or is it just in your legs?
For sure, stay focused all day, because possible there is a breakaway and a difficult close. But also, if you have a good legs, you have a good health. And for sure, the final it's a bit strange and also a bit difficult. And also for this, the position is important.
And we also have bonus seconds on the intermediate sprints. Do you think that will change the way the race goes?
Yeah, we try for sure, and we try for take this bonus, but it's not the first focus for the team.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Berton with a fleet of BMW GS motorcycles and Skoda cars behind her has clearly got a very good lead now. 32 seconds, 32 kilometres to go. Digging around in her back pocket, probably for a gel, I would have thought, at this time of day. Just as a group of 10 riders rides past, 2 from Park Hotel Valkenburg, which I find surprising. And Carbonari back to the front, the Latvian champion, Anastasia Carbonari. It sounds a distinctly Italian name,
yeah.
But the Latvian champion doing the work for Bastianelli on the front with Arkea, very, very present there, as our Uno X still there.
Still really haven't figured out who is the leader of Arkea.
No.
They send very mixed signals.
Yeah. And they've got a full roster here, haven't they? Some riders, some teams didn't start with the full 6 riders.
Yeah.
Certainly the only rider. Well, they've got 2 riders that have started this race before. Megan Armitage was 31st last year, and Marta. Sorry, I'll start again. Maika Kolja, who was 65th the year before. She's a decent climber and was 3rd at the Vuelta Extremadura earlier this year, up a 12-kilometre climb, and the team won the team time trial there. So I think it's a difficult thing to ride a team time trial. You do actually have to ride like a team, don't you? You have to have that level of cooperation,
yeah.
And know each other.
And you need to train that before.
Yeah. There are other riders, Maureen Tréguet. She was 2nd in the French Junior Road Race Champion the year before last, and 3rd at Ghent-Wevelgem Juniors last year. Marianne Hinault, that's the first time she's been here. Another good time trialist. Marie Morgan Le Dunf, another good climber. She's her best result, 2nd at La Trèves les Hauts-de-France last year, finishing leading a chasing group home behind the winner, who was Misha Bredevold. and they don't have a full roster because their last rider was forced to drop out at the last minute.
Yeah, the gap is still slightly over 30 seconds, so it's not too bad. We'll see now with the next ascent up onto Côte de Sainte-Fontaine.
It's Manon Bakker for Phoenix de Koenig on the front this time. I think it's Sophie Wright on the radio a little further back. How many gels would you get through 111 kilometres? Would you have any solids on a race like this, or would it all be gels?
Depends. For me, it always depended on the temperature. You know,
Oh, okay.
colder races. When I was in a Belgian team, we would get rice cakes, so to have something solid in the stomach before throwing in the gels. But in general, especially in the final phase, you have more gels. In the beginning of the race, you maybe have some solid food, but towards the finish, you get more gels in. Especially in the breakaway, it's super important to keep the timing right with the food, because once you skip that one gel, it's, yeah.
Because you actually have to get a gel in regularly, don't you? It's not a sort of once an hour job. It's like
No.
once every 20, 30 minutes maximum,
Yes,
isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So you also kind of need to know your body also, because, for example, now Nina in front, she's probably doing a much harder effort than the ones in the back there. So you probably need also more food. So you kind of need to categorize your effort as well.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So you have to know how hard you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also not to overeat, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's also a lot of experience, because some riders struggle with different types of food. So, for example, some really cannot eat gels, some cannot eat solid food. It's very individual in that sense as well. And then also with the drinks. Some prefer water, some prefer powder. Water is not really ideal, because water is really rinsing out all the minerals in your body. So yeah, it's kind of hard as well to find the right mix, because also, you know, for example, you go there with your team, then the next race you're doing with the national team, you have a different Swanee. The Swanee is putting more powder than you're used to. Then you maybe end up with stomach aches during the race, because you do not really handle the powder well, or also depending on the brand of the powder, it's very individual.
Certainly when I did that ride in Scotland recently, that's the first time I've actually tried quite hard to eat a lot, and I didn't. And I was just sick of eating sweet stuff by the end of the day. It was...
Yeah, also, for example, also in really cold races in spring, the ones that you start with, they're normally only around 0 to 3-5 degrees. And they're, for me personally, I really liked salty food during the race. So, I didn't really like the sweet one, because your drink is already sweet, so you cannot really, especially when it's cold. I mean, people tend to like more salty food when it's cold. So, but then again, it's very individual.
I couldn't speak after that race, that ride in Scotland recently.
Was your mouth so sticky?
No, I had just hit the wall. As we say in England, I'd bonked. I'd completely run out of energy, and I'd still won the race, the sprint up to our accommodation. But I just, sorry James if you're watching, I couldn't string a sentence together because I was right on the edge of falling apart. And the next day I had to drive home from Scotland, and it was really, really difficult. The body was fine, but just that deep tiredness that you get from not having eaten enough.
Yes. It's especially important when you do a stage race because, I mean, there's a race the next day. So you really need to eat properly during the race, hydrate correctly, and having the proper recovery foods or shake or whatever, however you want to take in those calories. That's the key in a stage race.
Yeah. You've got to be looking to recover before you finished,
Yes.
haven't you? But the day before, yeah, essentially. Good gap here for Nina Berton.
Yeah, very stable.
Neutral service, giving her any assistance she might need should anything go wrong with her bike. 26 kilometres to go and 32 seconds lead. I don't think she's going to win, though, is she? They're not giving her anything of any consequence. But we are on the climb now, and this is her sort of playground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think she's thinking about her Strava QRM here?
I mean, she knows that she has the skills. I mean, that's giving confidence, obviously. And she won very clearly the sprint the lap before. Well, there was no sprint. I mean, it was just elimination, kind of.
Yeah.
But now, considering that she's alone now at the front at kilometer 43, now we're at kilometers 26. That's already some time, and it's also not to forget about the earlier race, which has been already quite hilly and hard. And we'll see. We'll see how she will manage it. I mean, it's also the kind of risks that you need to take to grow and the kind of mistakes that you need to do. I don't want to say she's doing mistakes, but in general, it's the mistakes that you learn from. Yeah, there we see again some riders who struggle, including Manon Bakker.
Yeah. Oh, she's a very decent cyclocrosser, isn't she?
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah. I think I interviewed her working at the Lotto Belgium Tour a couple of years ago.
We can see Christina has been very low-key the whole day.
Yeah, but there the whole time, isn't she?
Yeah. But always hiding.
Yeah.
That's the only chance you have when you're alone in a team. I mean, with young riders, they're there to have experience, but she has a different goal, and with having a team that cannot really, offer you any teamwork. I mean, that's the only strategy that you can have. Just, save as much energy as possible.
This route change plays into her hands as opposed to Bastianelli, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's tougher. Bastianelli can definitely also do some small climbs. I mean, she's won some decent classics.
Flanders being one.
Yes.
And we know how hard that is.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm very sure she can handle all those efforts up climbs, but we'll know at the end, how far she can go, or how deep she can dig, and also how her shape is now. Because you can have as many successes as you want, but if your shape's not on point for a specific race, I mean...
It's good to see Norway being aggressive up here on the front. They're on the right-hand side, but a little upping of the pace from Uno X, either thinking of bringing this down or taking the Queen of the Mountains points. But Nina Berton has won all three. Well, unless something disastrous happens now, she's certainly going to win this one. And that will secure her the jersey. And a really good lead going into tomorrow's stage, where we have three climbs again, including the Simmerschmelz.
Yes.
And then we have the Rebier on the
Rebier. It's called Rebier.
Rebier.
Yes. That's how you call it in Luxembourgish.
Okay. Well, I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, that's a very famous climb because it has been in every edition.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's horrible as well. The road surface isn't good there.
Yeah.
That's about the only place in Luxembourg I've seen where the road surface isn't good. But gaps coming down that little bit. The effort there from the Arkea rider that she's put in just to take the 1 point. Well, good on her. It is racing after all.
Yeah.
She's still looking good here. Berton at the front, lovely and steady on the bike. Just her cadence is just so regular, isn't it?
Yeah,
She's just not changing anything.
Yeah, I used to ride very, very regularly with her on training.
Good girl.
And just to see her race now, I can just see the effort and the development she has behind her.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that was always a point that I told her that she could improve, and now to see her that she has improved on that point, especially like pedal efficiency, position-wise, just always being aware that going into the aero position when you're alone. For example, now she could be on the, I'd say on the, in the drops. Yeah.
Look at the size of this group now.
Yes,
It's really
yes.
split up. Interesting. I think you know, she's clenched her fist coming over the top there.
Yeah.
The car's gone out of the gap. I'm wondering now if this is time to sit up and let it all come back together. She's got what she came for, kind of thing.
Yeah. Because now, obviously she's aware that she gets the jersey after the race.
And has a very good chance, if she can win one tomorrow,
Yes.
of getting it again. So the G, sorry, let's go back to tomorrow's climb.
Yes.
Trebière.
Rijbierge.
Oh, crikey. Okay.
So literally translated, it means a raw hill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she sat up here, look.
Yes.
Yeah. Out of
She
her
just
sort-
wanted those points.
Yeah. I'd love to see a local rider at least get one of the jerseys.
Yeah.
It's like I want a French man or a French woman to win the Tour de France, you know. It's just got to be
Slightly
sometime.
bigger, but
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's just sort of, or a Belgian to win, you know, when Lotte Kopecky won the Flanders last year. It's one of those real sort of totemic races within the sport,
Yes.
and for a home rider to win, it's fantastic.
yeah, especially with Lotte Kopecky. I mean, a few years back, I've done with her the record of Tour of Flanders.
Yeah.
When she was not on SD Works. And I just know how much that means to her, because she knows every turn, every stone on that course. And to just see that happening for her, that was like so satisfying, because it felt right, you know, when she was winning Tour of Flanders. And just how she has developed the past 2 years as a rider is superb. Super happy for her that it's going into the right direction.
I had the, of course, Yelindora got second behind when she was on Wiggle High 5 behind Elisa Longo Borghini when she won it from a breakaway.
Yeah.
But the only other Belgian to win was Grace Verbeeker back in 2010, and I had the opportunity to interview her, to do a Megan Armitage there second and Edsa third. But I had the opportunity to interview Grace Verbeeker. I did an article for Pro Cycling magazine about winners of the Tour of Flanders. It was great to speak to all these people.
Yeah.
From winners through the years, and that was the idea of Lizzie Deignan. She guest edited that issue of the magazine and wanted an article on winners of that race.
Definitely.
I think she might get across the line here for the final, onto the final lap at the front of the race. And I think she's changed her position on the bike, hasn't she? She's thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Also in the bunch, once you're in the second row, especially in the Flanders Classics, when it's very windy, in general, just stay in the drops. Like, I mean, you can save so much energy I think a lot of riders are not aware of how much energy that costs just to be in the not aero position. Because I can remember from the edition that I did back in 2019, that was by far my best one. So the descent after the finish in Steinfort, where you say it looks very, very fast. Back then the super tuck was still allowed.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I was doing that on that descent because it was much faster.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't have the nerve to do that. I would never have done that. Just don't have the bravery. You can see the gaps coming right down. She's just on this little climb coming back up towards the finish line. She'll just be cresting it in a couple of 100 meters, but she's looking under her shoulder. How close are they? Oh no, they're not. They're not, are they? They're on that what used to be the classified climb. Sorry. Yeah, I'm about 4 kilometers.
One
and chain off here for Cédrine Kerbayol. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
French, but I think she's another Breton rider, so they have their own language.
That's a typical issue.
Yeah, chain suck we call it. Yeah.
When you switch from the big chain ring to the small one, and
it gets stuck.
Yes.
And I'm a bit of a wimp. I wouldn't want to get my hands dirty. So she's certainly come back here. 21.3 kilometres to go. And this climb has seen a significant amount of action.
Now, from Nina's perspective, I would say she's done everything right. She got all the points.
Yeah.
Now she's back in the bunch. Maybe
oh, look at that. Straight on the wheel.
Yeah. Now Christine closing the gap. So also see on the left-hand side there was a Luxembourgish Swanee standing there. Was Chantal Hoffmann.
Needs a drink. Was that needs a drink, or was she waving?
No. She's a soigneur for the Luxembourgish national team.
Who's it?
Chantal Hoffmann.
That's right.
She's a former professional as well. She
that's right. She was off the front in the Olympic road race, wasn't she? In Rio.
Can be. I'm not too sure.
Oh, attack! Another one. Attack from CERATIZIT.
That's Artsufi.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I saw her at breakfast this morning. And Hannah Ludwig from Uno X on her wheel. And we're starting to get some proper action there. Is that Bertizzolo just trying to close it down?
Yeah, looks like it, yeah. With Arkea in the wheel and Christine.
Christine and Ali Wollaston. I tell you who I can't see, and that's because she's good at being hidden, is Bastianelli. This group just coming back. There's a second peloton just coming back, but that is... This fashion for big sunglasses is no good for commentators. Is that that's Armitage?
Armitage, yeah.
I know. With the national champions bands around her.
Yeah.
And I think that might be Heidi France, the American rider. Will they mind, with the girls who want to win this race, will they mind having this other peloton come back? Or will they be just absolutely confident they've done it once so they can do it again? They can get rid of them and thus reduce.
I think next lap will be natural elimination.
Yeah.
So,
it's just a rider coming past us now who's about to be, well, she'll be withdrawn from the race. She'll be way over the time limit now.
I mean, the race has been much more risky and interesting the past few editions because normally it would have rained during this first stage. Right. So that, especially that tricky final was always a lot of suspense to see who crashed or who didn't.
Yeah. It's not going to rain today or tomorrow, I don't think, the last time I looked at the weather.
No, they're quite lucky, I think.
Yeah. But it's not warm, is it?
No, it isn't. It isn't. Ideal for a race, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a bit cold for commentary.
Yeah.
With no back door.
That's right, with no back door, yeah.
Yeah.
CERATIZIT still being quite aggressive here. They're on everything. I think, is that Lack again, just following the UAE rider up? No.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Marta Lach.
Yeah. Tell you who's well represented in this group is, I think we've got all the riders from Uno X in this group. Yeah, there's Hannah Barnes at the back. That's the sixth rider. With Park Hotel Valkenburg leading across the line, we've got a group up there of, I'd say, 35 riders with 17.6 kilometres left to ride. And it's tough for these riders from a team like Torelli.
Yeah.
They're all, oh, I should try not to say it in an American, sorry, in an Italian accent, because it's not, is it? It's Tony Orr, but there you go. They are complete amateur riders. They are amateur riders, and they are riding against some quite serious professionals here. Just finishing, I think, is an accomplishment. I don't even know how they begin to do it.
Definitely, it's quite a tough story for them to keep up with those riders who have the stable structure around them, and yeah, it's a different story. That's still the issue with.
Just looking at Ludwig and Costa having a chat here. I wonder what the tactical chat going on there is.
Yeah.
I tell you what I do like to see. I like to see a team like Fassa Bortolo being aggressive. You know, if there were a third division of women's team, they would be in it. Even though they get in a lot of big races, it's just good to see that they try and take control.
Yeah.
It's good to see here ARA Skip Capital. You know, 3 women there at the back, and they're having a chat. What are we going to do? How are we going to try and impact the race?
What you see Bastianelli now in her little train, being covered from the wind.
Carbonari coming up to take her place in that group. I mean, the amount of work Carbonari's done, and she's still there. That is your difference, isn't it, between the professionals? She can do a big shift and then still be there.
I mean, it's very often only I'd say the leader. If the leader wins, it's the leader that you're actually looking up to, but it's the whole team that you need to look at.
It's the oddest sport in the world, really, because there is no other sport. There is no other race that is you know, if you would compare it to motor racing, for instance, there is, you know, the mechanics that make sure the car works and gets around the course. They're not actually out there doing it as well. So it's absolutely unique, bike racing. The Norwegian national champion is there. And that, you see the jersey is slightly different. That's Malin Eriksson. First time she's been here as well.
Slowly but surely getting to the 15 last case.
Yeah. Nearly catching the bike up, the Moto camera bike. It's just the weight on those things. 2 people on a big motorcycle. A pedal cycle's always going to go around the bends much quicker. Another chat here from the UAE team, just sort of clarification of the plan, I guess.
Also, Christine, you can see her sitting behind the UAE team.
Right.
Because she knows that they're going to play some cards, Armitage
has ridden a good race, actually, hasn't she?
Yeah. very good, very present, very strong.
There's a lot of chatting going on within teams of who's going to do what, and those last minute tactical decisions.
Yeah, it's also very often you ask your teammates how they feel, you know, if they're leader, if they feel confident enough, if they feel strong enough to still do the final, or if they're going to give the chance to another one. That's also, I'd say, a very fair and loyal leader to their teammates, because it gives the chance also for another one to actually be like in short notice to be the leader. And but that's always a very important question that you ask yourself, or also the other teammates, how they feel and how they are doing.
And I guess you can change the order of who's doing the work, can't you? If someone's right on their last legs, ask them to go and... If they were supposed to be doing something later in the race, but now they're nearing the end, they can go and do their final bit of work and then sit up, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to work with what you got, so obviously it's not so easy to race against one of the best teams if you're just a middle range team.
That's right.
Yeah.
So AG Insurance, Soudal Quickstep now back on the front, trying to take control. They've got Ali Wollaston here at the back, so I wonder if they'll be going for a different option. And perhaps Marta Goossens will be their chosen one. But still, 13Ks, I think it's you don't really need to be at the back if you're Ali Wollaston and you're the one that's going to be going for the sprint. But perhaps her job is done. Perhaps her job is for tomorrow, which is the easier stage, isn't it, tomorrow?
No, I wouldn't say the easiest.
No?
This the Rijbierge, it can be quite tricky.
Okay.
So it's really not to underestimate, especially they have to go up quite a few times.
4 or 5 times, yeah.
Yes.
5 times in total,
it's really not to underestimate.
And now Hannah Barnes on the front with the Union Jack. Flashes on her wrists, on the cuffs of her jersey. She is the former road and time trial, in different years, champion of the UK, GB. And she's very much got a kind of mentoring role on that team, as will Costa. But it's Costa is their chosen rider. I'm absolutely convinced Costa is the rider they're going for. Wollaston might just be trying to move up on the right side there. Maybe not. Maybe not.
It's not so easy, you know. When the speed is not up too high, the bunch is quite compact. And it's very
dense
hard.
And close together, like a nice fruit cake.
Yeah. Yeah, with different fruits, kind of the different jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always it has been a big discussion now with security on the road, also with the colors of the jerseys. So it's mesmerizing to see some teams choosing darker colors.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Uno X, which is for me definitely one of the a good jersey to see. But then, for example, the Fassa Bortolo team, they are very, very dark.
Very dark.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
The new Park Hotel jersey is also different to the previous years, with the all black chest and then just the flashy colored sleeves. So there's a huge discussion going on with being visible on the road. So I don't really get the logic of a few teams.
Nina Berton there for CERATIZIT, still working there in the pack. There's a lot of chat going on amongst the team. I wouldn't have thought about about what they're having for dinner. There's another group just going past the finish line here with the broom wagon, the ambulance right behind. But the base is up, and this is the business end of the race, isn't it? 11.5 kilometres to go.
I mean, I would definitely think that WNT is going for the sprint now.
Yeah.
It's either Fidanza, because she's a good sprinter, or maybe also Cédrine Kerbaol. She's not too bad either. She has some good results in the past few races.
Is she still there,
Yes.
Kerbaol?
Yes,
She's
yes.
back on,
Yeah,
is she,
yeah.
after that mechanical?
Yeah, so because she was 16th in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, so that's a quite good result, and 23 in Amstel Gold Race, and 19th in Bruges de Panne, which is also a World Tour race.
Yeah, yeah.
So she has got
And was
some
really hard this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has got some decent results in the past races. Also, the second UAE rider, Anna Trevisi, she's also in the peloton already for so many years. Very experienced Italian rider.
That's right. Looking at Kerbaol, she won the Tour of Normandy last month. I know it's a lower level race than this, but still,
Yeah,
solo stage win, got her to the GC, so
you still need to win it.
yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter how you win, does it?
Yeah. So you can clearly see that it's going into the final phase.
Yeah. This is a big turn on the front here from Barnes, because you can see other teams are trying to take control
Yeah.
of the pack, but they're not able to, because this is a big push on from the British rider.
Very powerful pedal stroke.
Yeah, she's a class act,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
a real
yeah.
class act. Her parents don't live too far from me, and I met her for coffee once
Oh, nice. Very
to do an
nice.
interview. I nearly, I rode across, she rode across, and I nearly knocked her off on the way on the. just completely underestimated how strong each pedal stroke was in
Yeah.
comparison to me. A lot of work going on the right. The Park Hotel rider there. Look at the effort going in there just to move up, rocking and rolling all over the bike.
Yeah.
US team there at the back on the left-hand side. Oh,
They're just entering the small village with the right turn into the last climb.
right.
So it's going to be quite crucial
Yeah.
now.
And the top of that climb coming so close to the finish.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to have some effect. There's
Yeah.
Barnes just slipping back through the bunch now.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
the Norwegian champion looking for her teammates in the middle, and back to the front is AG Insurance,
Yeah.
Soudal Quickstep. And now this is it, isn't it? We drop down now and
Yeah.
onto the
But
climb.
now they start climbing.
And this is, I think, there's going to be some action here.
But look how small that
Yeah.
bunch got. You see how high the speed was the whole day.
I mean, we've seen, looking over our shoulder out onto the road, how many small
Yeah.
groups are a long way back.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll extend the time cut in order to keep a good-sized peloton. Hannah Ludwig now has taken over on the front for Uno X. Just a little bit of a organisational kind of hiatus after Barnes here dropped off the front. AG Insurance came to the front. Ludwig is now opening up on this climb. Only here with 5 riders today. You've got Barnes, you have Costa, you have Ludwig, and you also have Mia Ottestad and Martaberg Edzef. Those last 2 riders being Norwegians. Onto the steepest part of the climb. This is about 16% here, so it's the steep just after this bend, and this is a big effort from
Hannah Ludwig.
Ludwig, yeah. And they're looking to put as many people in trouble as possible, aren't they? And thin this out.
Yeah, there's Carbonari.
Yeah.
She has done her work for the day.
I think she's earned her chicken and rice in the hotel this evening.
Yeah, on the left you can see Cédrine from WNT CERATIZIT coming up.
Now I'm wondering, there's been a switch. Now Bertizzolo is on Bastianelli's wheel, and I wonder if they've changed priorities. Because Bertizzolo is a decent sprinter,
Yeah.
good bunch sprinter, really. But she's that little bit better up the hills than Bastianelli. But last season. If I were Bastianelli, I'd want to win everything.
Yeah.
And look at the back door is well and truly open, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. They are French supporter.
It'd have to make you smile if you looked up and saw him, surely. Especially if you're French. Tartufi on the right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the CERATIZIT kit.
Ah, look how that bunch starts to explode.
But it's not broken up as much as
No.
I thought it would, you
No.
know. I thought this would... well, you've still got that other small climb to go, haven't you? And then from there, it's at about 2.5 Ks in, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Costa just checks over his shoulder. Decent time trialist as well. Is she going to try going it alone? Bastianelli rocking and rolling on the bike. Even Christian Majerus looks a tiny bit under pressure. Bertizzolo just breathing deeply. As Celia van Zoetum slips ever further backwards down the road. And Valentina Basilico. No, Bastianelli's looking strong there.
Look, Bertizzolo looks even that
Yeah,
she's
she does.
suffering more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. This is a high pace. This is a
Yeah.
great bit of tactical racing. Ooh. See her blowing. Bastianelli there, just blowing, trying to look cool, but perhaps not
Poker
as cool
face.
as we think. Yeah. You just see her through there gritting her teeth. But that's quite a... They're over the top.
Look,
She's
Ali
done
Wollaston. Ali Wollaston in the back. Look,
Yeah, still there.
coming back, yeah.
Yeah. Is that Schneider? They've got 2 American riders in this little group. They now need to keep this going. One of the Arkea riders, I can't see, is it? Yeah, it is. It's Armitage just going, just trying desperately to get back on. But they just push. But they've only got 1 rider left, so you've got to navigate your own way through this now. But it's not exactly a bunch kick. Is that Lack just closing the gap? Yeah. Bertizzolo on her wheel. Perfectly positioned is Bastianelli.
Well, WNT has 3 riders in that
Yeah.
group, so... No, it's Skylar Schneider is not in that group.
Right.
Yeah.
So my prediction was completely wrong, yeah? Yeah.
As I said, European racing is very, very different from US racing.
Yeah.
And she even said it herself.
She did, yeah. With no pressure. Yeah. But Bastianelli calling for work to keep this group away. Armitage, that horrible, desperate feeling of needing to be on the back just to be able to take it that little bit more easy. Bertizzolo taking a drink there. I think that group's gone. They're not coming back.
6K to go.
Yeah.
If they keep rolling, it's a done deal.
But now, Uno X looking around. They need some help. They're not going to let the... Costa isn't going to do her own. And bang, here comes Bertizzolo over the top. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, the US team, which is keeping up the pace.
Again, you've got to keep the pressure on. But if you haven't got a lot of teammates, then you're not going to keep the pressure on.
It's definitely the role of UAE or WNT to keep up the pace.
Yeah.
So they have more riders in there.
I think this is the winning group, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if the speed's dropping now again, but it looks like they have finally found some riders who are willing to work in front.
And talking to each other isn't exactly easy with your heart rate up 180, 190, is it?
I'm not too sure. Also with the speed and the wind, it's not
Yeah.
too I'm not too sure. A lot of experience, it's more like screaming.
Yeah, yeah. Can't see who this American rider is.
No. I think she crashed. Look at the brake.
Yeah. In the back of the group, just see them going through here at, I think that's 55 kilometers an hour. Yeah, you need to brake there, Mr. Moto. Big effort here from that's Artufi again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Artufi. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to ride for Fidanza.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
And Christine hasn't done the thing all day,
No,
other than being in the absolutely the perfect place.
she's like literally transparent.
Yeah. It's Mia Ottestad is the other Uno X rider.
She's a former teammate of mine.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she rode with me 21 for the Andy Schlack team.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is her on the front now. Young Norwegian rider putting in a bit of an effort.
Back then, she was Norwegian national champion.
Right. Bearing in mind the amount of work she's done already, this is quite a big move from her. Bit of a statement move. There's Bastianelli just moving out. Marta with Ali Wollaston on her wheel. Can Wollaston out sprint someone like Bastianelli up this little climb up? It's a big ask. Now we're on to this little dig that used to be one of the classified climbs on here. Is this where we're going to get another attack? I would suggest that Bastianelli doesn't want an attack here. Bertizzolo perhaps try and make a move here because it drags, doesn't it, over the top? It drags over.
Yeah.
Artufi out of the saddle on the right-hand side of the peloton, left-hand side. This is the back of that same group. Number 111 is Merva. I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's French, but with the Skibang.
It's called Maeva.
Maeva, yeah, so you accent right. An attack here from Costa. This is her move. She can time trial. Is she going to open this group up? She won't get any help from the UAE ADQ rider that's on her wheel.
Christine sees that chance.
Yeah.
Follow, yeah.
And that's 24 is going behind.
Fidanza is that.
Fidanza, yeah. This could be a move. As Christine's now really going to have to work to get across. But Costa needs some help here because she's going to get nothing.
Once they're with them, then
Yeah, work, yeah. But really, and you can see the group behind her sitting up. Fidanza going to give Christine any help here? This could be the winning move.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on, Christine, get on. Come on. Yeah, they're on. They're breathing super hard, though. That's a big effort. Costa looking around. Is this going to work? She needs help. Otherwise, this Wollaston leading the chase there. I think Wollaston's got a bit of a gap in this second group. Christine Majerus comes to the front in the national champions jersey of Luxembourg on a home race, on our home roads. With Costa's second wheel, Ali Wollaston off the front of this small group is just trying desperately to bridge across. Remember, she's the New Zealand under-23 TT time trial, but she was second in the senior race, got her that title. So she's got a lot to go, but she's put in a big effort. Costa looking around.
The bunch is not really riding. So
no, but neither are they. This Wollaston's got to cross. That's a hell of a ride.
Jesus.
Who's the UAE rider again?
I don't know her. But it's always a shame when you have a rider in between who's breaking up the rhythm.
That's
so
right. I think Wollaston wants to go straight over the top. Look, is that an attack going to come? No, another move here from 165, who is Melissa Rollins from the US team. Again, Costa comes to the front, tightening of the shoes there from UAE. Wollaston thinking, oh, I wonder if I can slip away here.
It's going to be tight.
They're coming into town now, aren't they?
Yeah.
1 kilometre to go, 900 metres. Costa on the wheel. Wollaston doing the work.
That's super tight.
Just over the top here. They're going to do this left-right
it's a tricky one.
into the barriers, and then they get that tight right-hand turn. Left, right. You got the barriers on the right where we saw the crash earlier on in the race. Wollaston checking down. Has she got what it takes to make the move? Costa looking very, very businesslike. Measurus at the back looking slightly more relaxed, and that's Fidanza on the back, is it?
Yes,
yeah.
Fidanza, yeah. Now, if they
checking over the shoulder, have they got it? They've got, what, 700 metres to go.
Yeah.
Wollaston doing all the work. But she realises... Again, she checks over her shoulder. Costa happy to let her do the work. Is this going to come back? It's so tight. Attack here. Costa makes a move, looks over her shoulder. Makes a move. Majerus now going on the right-hand side. Can she get a gap? Costa trying desperately to get her back. Two similarly matched riders, both hugely experienced, but the UAE rider just sat there like a predator. I think it's Gasparini, and they're going to come back. They're going to come back. So Gasparini's going to sit up, and it's going to be Bastianelli. Bastianelli comes over. And we can't see. We need to see. Costa goes. Costa goes for hard. With Wollaston on her wheel. Bastianelli coming through, trying to shelter from the wind. Bastianelli's going to open her sprint up. Wollaston goes hard, and it's Bastianelli. Bastianelli's coming to the line. Bastianelli's going to take it. It's Bastianelli, Wollaston, Gasparini, and Costa, I think. What a finish! And Majerus rolling over there. What, 11th place? That was a brave effort. When you've got all those different teams represented, and the favourites teammate is one of them, it's difficult for that to come home together. Well, that was an exciting finish. And you've got another group rolling over here. Rolling over is just slightly insulting. Hannah Ludwig there, the Uno X rider, coming over.
It's Annick van Alphen from Phoenix de Koning on cross rider.
Well, we interviewed the right person at the start of the race, then, didn't we? Eh? Important to get the shades off. Bertizzolo comes to congratulate teammate. Here we go. Talk us through this.
Yeah, Bastianelli, obviously the strongest one on the finish line, followed by Wollaston. Honestly surprised that she got that good in the sprint, and after that bang of an effort that she has done in the final, followed by Gasparini and then Costa. Out of the 4 riders, 3 riders who are worldwide known, and Wollaston as an underdog. Quite an effort that she's done here.
I think that's huge effort.
Yes.
A really huge effort from Wollaston.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to win, and Bastianelli deserves the win. She was the strongest there. She's got the strongest team here.
Yeah.
She used them really well. They changed their tactics as they realised they were coming back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, brilliant tactical racing and brilliant finishing from Bastianelli. But for me, Wollaston's my woman of the match. So that is some ride.
Yeah.
I think she was on the front for the final 3 kilometres, or most of it.
I mean, making that that jump alone in the final 2K, still being able to sprint that on that tough finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tough is this? I mean, you've ridden it, you've raced it. How tough is that as
It is very
a sprint finish? Because it's not a bunch sprint, is it?
Yeah, no, it is. It isn't. Also, every lap, it's really tough here. Yeah, having a look back at the finish, focusing on Wollaston.
Oh, wow, she went off course. She went off course. Oh.
Yes.
And that extra effort. Wow. Just as Christine launched as well.
Yeah.
Wow. I think there might be a few swear words coming from the young New Zealander there. Wow. I really feel for her there. Coming across to the podium, look, I think that's Marta's daughter, maybe. Marta is one of the mums in the peloton. Oh, it's just a stranger. I mean, it could be a stranger for all I know.
Yeah. Or someone from a family.
Yeah. Could be her daughter looking at her though. That was an exciting finish.
Yeah.
That was an exciting finish.
Yeah, very exciting. A lot of suspense.
Yeah, and I love the way that racing just ebbs and flows, and because of the tactical aspect and who was in that group.
Yeah.
You know, had they got rid of Gasparini, well, then it would have been that group that fought for the win, without doubt, but they couldn't.
Yeah. Sometimes you think it's a done deal, and then still it gets shaken up. And
yeah. Hopefully, we're going to hear an interview. There's Bart, the photographer there, number 44. She's got to drive past the burger and sausage van. I wonder how much that's going to tickle her taste buds as she goes past, and the beer.
And the beer.
See the sprint again. I mean, that is some ride from Wollaston.
Yeah.
To have suffered that, to have done that massive move. She really is a star of the future.
Yeah. And luckily in a great team. AG Insurance with a great DS, with the right mentality. No, definitely superb to see such results from such promising riders.
Yeah. And Wollaston's only young. I mean, she's 22.
Yeah.
I can't even remember that far back. You should be able to remember. Here we are, Steinfort. Another exciting finish. This is a really good course around here. It's lovely and punchy, and it allows the peloton to take advantage of it. And my fear was that with the the intermediate sprints having time bonuses, that the race would never open out.
Yeah.
But it did open out.
Yeah.
And that new finish is one that double punch, the Set Fontaine and then the old climb.
Yes.
I think that's really one that they should try and keep.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow who has recovered the best from today's stage, because I mean, today was quite brutal. We'll see tomorrow. It's going to be another tough day with climbing up the Rebierge 5 times. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's a longer stage tomorrow, 115.8 kilometres. Stage 2, starting again at the Stade de Luxembourg. and then taking basically the same route as it took today.
Yeah.
And we even come through this finish line, I think, or no, we skirt past Steinfort and head up and do the Simmerschmelz climb, and then come back through Steinfort and join that closing loop, don't we?
Yeah.
But we join it. It's probably 8 kilometres from the line. Another rider just coming through to the finish there.
So the home club always takes the opportunity from the stage race to organize on Monday, as it is public holiday in Luxembourg, to organize a cyclosportive.
Yes.
So it's not the same as the race loop, but it's some parts are the same, and they offer 3 different parcours.
Okay.
Yeah. It's,
Are you riding?
No.
I should have stayed an extra day and
Yes.
not ridden either.
No, it's yeah. They offer 3 different loops. It's quite nice because you see similar area than where the riders have raced. So yeah.
Another group just getting clapped across the line there, with one of the race officials, Skoda's, following on behind. Skoda actually started life, I believe, as a bicycle company over 100 years ago, and that's why they are very faithful to sponsoring in cycling, and they sponsor cycling all over the place.
Yeah.
Though not in the UK anymore. But I won't say any more about that. But yeah, they've been. Recent years, they've been one of the big backers of professional cycling and lower level cycling. So it's always worth giving them a mention.
It's also nice to see that there are some spectators here at the finish area, because it's not so common for Luxembourg to have a lot of spectators. So that's very nice to see.
Yep, we're going to hear an interview now, but it's going to be in Luxembourgish. So I'm going to look to my left to Claire and see if she can translate it for us once it's done or as it goes.
Von Ihnen formidable étape kann ich so de Bierpreis hat den Eindruck, dass der Weg dein Ziel hat, du hast alles dafür gemacht und Fred hast doch gewiesen.
Ja, das war natürlich, also ich habe heute Morgen gesagt, wenn du willst, da geh für den Bierpreis, probier du dir machen, was du willst, weil ja, sie mal ein bisschen durch freie Karte gelöst und du sagst, ja, ich probiere dann echt den Bierpreis und gucke, wie es geht. Das ist gut gegangen, und ich habe mir gedacht, okay, lo habe ich den nächsten geholt und muss durchziehen.
Die zweite Reagierwelle hast du sogar lange aufgesagt, kurz 20 Sekunden Avance. Was hast du da gedacht? Hast du 10 Mal durch, gucken, was passiert, oder war nachher mal der Bierpreis, den du am Hand gehabt hast?
Natürlich war die zwei, also ich gucke den zweiten Bierpreis an, die Anna ist mir gibt, die immer perfekte Lieder gemacht, und dann sagten sie auch, okay, lo, probier einfach, zieh was der Bier durch, guck, was geschieht. Ja, du warst ja lang, ich wäre natürlich mehr froh gewesen, wenn ich ein paar Leute mit mir gehabt hätte. Aber allein war ich dann, okay, ich probiere einfach so lange wie möglich für fit zu bleiben und den dritten dann auch noch mal zu holen. Das hat dann auch geklappt, und zum Schluss war dann einfach nicht mehr noch sich dranhängen, gucken, so lange wie möglich drin zu bleiben und der Equipe zu helfen für einen guten Kurs.
Die Equipe ist gut positioniert, du selber natürlich auch in einer exzellenten Ausgangsposition für den Bierpreis. Ich denke, dass ich doch morgen auf den 2 Tableau spielen darf.
Ja, natürlich, lo habe ich den Trikot, da will ich den noch halten, und ich will noch einmal weisen, dass ich mitfahren kann und dass ich gut mitfahren kann, und da gucken wir, für den noch morgen noch einmal zu holen. Ja.
Perfekt, vielen Dank.
Yeah, obviously she wants to keep the jersey also for tomorrow.
So Nina Berton will be awarded the Farai Services Red Dot jersey for the best climber of today's opening stage. We have 3 other jerseys. The overall is a yellow jersey, the CERATIZIT yellow jersey. The young rider wears the Imolosh white jersey, and the Skoda green jersey goes to the points classification leader. And there you go. The result from today's stage: Marta Bastianelli was first with Ali Wollaston in second, Gasparini third, Costa, Gerritsen, Fidanza, Skibin, Borgli, Heidi France and Mia Bjorndal Ottistad. Great to see Heidi France in a top 10, bearing in mind the awful stuff that she's had to go through with teams this year, being caught out by the collapse of the B&B Hotels team, and then essentially the collapse of the ZAF team, who never paid their riders.
No, unfortunately, it's still happening in teams.
Yeah. And that was a team that I'd heard through the grapevine had a €5 million budget, but I think it was a €5 million dream from whoever said they had the money. The last group there across the line with the ambulance and the broom wagon, they're bringing up the rear.
Now to invite to request the following rider for the ceremony for the award.
And we're hopefully going to bring to you the podium celebrations.
Starting number 1, back number 1. The second,
But before that, we'll have a bit of highlight action, shall we?
of the podium.
And we rolled out this morning from the Stade de Luxembourg. First time the races started there in that brand new stadium. And before long, we had a few attacks heading up the road. First from the Charente-Maritime, Stade Rochelet Charente-Maritime team, and then a good old dig from Larry Millet, Canadian rider, riding on a French team. But she didn't last long. She was caught with about 15 kilometres gone by the very aggressive AG Insurance Soudal Quick Step team. And working for the eventual winner was Anastasia Carbonari. And good landscape brings about good, aggressive attacking racing, and perhaps the most aggressive of those teams was the AG Insurance Soudal Quick Step team. Sophie Wright went on a move, trying to get on the television for her grandmother, but she was pipped to the post by Nina Berton at the top of the first climb there. Having lost out on the intermediate points there on the first time round, it was all down to UAE Team ADQ before we had another attack. Sorry, have to chuckle. From AG Insurance as the Côte de Septfontaine started to cause real problems. Nina Berton just rode away, essentially. Rode away off the front of the bunch, took the classification points for the Queen of the Mountains, and she has secured the Farai Services red dot jersey from what was a fantastic performance from the young Luxembourgish rider. And a clench of the fist from Berton, but she was eventually brought back with 21.3 kilometres to go by a race that was becoming much more aggressive. Heidi France coming over the top with the national champion Christine Majerus across the line with 1 lap to go. A group of about 35 women. That final lap was hugely aggressive. With Uno X doing much of the work, former British champion Hannah Barnes leading the race into the bottom of the final ascent of the Côte de Septfontaine, which on this final climb was not classified towards the mountains points. Bertizzolo goes with just under 6 kilometres to go. Only a small group was left at the front of the race as we entered into the final few kilometres. Ali Wollaston, the New Zealand national champion, bridged across to a group of 4 women who seemed to be off the front, but in the final few hundred metres, the New Zealander went off course, and that leading group was caught. Wollaston remarkably put in a massive sprint, but it was last year's winner, Marta Bastianelli, who took the prize at the end of stage 1 of the 2023 festival Elsy Jacobs.
The best for the mark classification is Nina Bertrand.
I cannot believe how strong Wollaston was there.
Yeah.
Everyone's sprinting. Oh, she's the only person sprinting on the drops. Everyone else is sprinting on the tops. And there she is, just outside our little commentary box. And we're now going to get an interview from the former world champion, Marta Bastianelli.
National Luxembourg.
Last year, you can say here in Steinfort, once again the victory. It looked like a really controlled race from your side and from your team.
Yeah, today it's a very nice day for me, for my team. Again, we winner in Luxembourg. Maybe this country for me it's very lucky. Nothing. Yes, we have a good control to the race. Also for my teammate Gasparini because she's very strong in the climb. But we have too much chance with also with Sofia Bertizzolo because also she's very strong. And we try the best in the sprint because. I am good and we try for this, but I think also if arrive at the break, possible Gaspa, joke your chance. So nothing. We are very happy.
The course changed a bit. The lap, the smaller lap at the end. Was it heavier with this climb compared to the last year?
But this last climb it's very hard in a sense. It's a climb, like it's not like last year. For sure, the peloton take hit very hard and very fast, but we try my best in the climb and stay in the wheel for don't lose too much time. From Roubaix, this is 3 weeks without race, and I don't know what's happening today, but I think I am good also for tomorrow and for close this Luxembourg route very well.
I think with the team and with the performance you saw today from your teammates as well, you can be very confident for tomorrow.
Yeah, we check tomorrow what's happening, but I am happy if one my rider teammate win tomorrow. For me, it's very nice, and I am happy also.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't put it past her. I think Bastianelli is fairly nailed on for the general classification. She picked up 13 bonus seconds, whilst Wollaston picked up 8. So we'll have a 5-second deficit with Gasparini a further 2 seconds back, and Anuska Costa at 8 seconds down from your leader, who is Marta Bastianelli. As we said, tomorrow's stage is the longest of the weekend. It's 115.8 kilometres. Be the same start as today. Opening leg from the Stade de Luxembourg, crossing the line for the first time in Garnish, which is where we finish, after 20.5 kilometres for an intermediate sprint, and then head north, riding basically the large loop of stage 1, which includes the classified climb at Simmersmelts, 5, 3 and 1 point, before we head back to Garnish for 4 loops around a 10-kilometre circuit. Good to see plenty of people hanging around the finish here, hoping to see the finish. hoping to see the podium. And here we are, the results. Marta Bastianelli took the stage with Ali Wollaston in second, Eleonora Gasparini in third. Costa, Geritza, Fidanza, Skibin, Borgli, France and Ottestad are your top 10. Your Queen of the Mountains, Nina Berton, has 15 points with Marta Edze, 4, Megan Armitage with 4, Sophie Wright with 3, and Gasparini once again with 1 point. Your points classification, Bastianelli leads that by a healthy margin, 30 points. Wollaston in second, Gasparini third, Costa with 7 points, Geritza, Fidanza, Skibin and Borgli in 8th with 1 point. And that's your lot, really. Thank you very much for joining us. We haven't got time to bring you the podiums. You can hear the police just heading off up the road, and they'll be back with us tomorrow. And you'll be back with us, hopefully, at 2 o'clock CET tomorrow. From myself and Claire.
Yes, thank you very much for listening, and thanks, Owen, for the nice live stream commentating. And we'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Goodbye.